We're on. It's Thursday, the 2nd of June 2011. Today, in this episode of GTV, we're going to have a little look at the comparisons of schools and prisons. But before we do that, if you can hear something in the background, there's some workers doing some work outside. Maybe you can hear that. And I just want to share something with you. Look at that. It's healthy day today. This is raw food, and I just chopped it up, put it in the box, and I'm going to eat that. And I'm not going to eat any rubbish produced in some factory with some ingredients that God knows what has gone into it. So I'm going to it's easy. Okay, I got my healthy food, and I got my root ginger in here. Just add hot water. It says coffee on the cup, but it's ginger. Trust me. So trying to do the healthy thing. Anyway, back to the point. Public schools and prisons. This is a document entitled 18 Signs Life in Public Schools is Now Equivalent to Life in Prisons. I've edited a few things. I'm going to ad-lib a few things. This is taken from The American Dream, published 1st of June yesterday. So, little look at the introduction. Without a doubt, our public schools are not very good at educating our students, but they are sure a great training ground for learning how to live in a big brother police state control grid. Well, maybe some people wouldn't go that far, but well, what does that mean? I mean, the students are basically locked in there with no choice. You arrive in the morning. You're basically locked into the building. You can only get out if you've got a special pass, and then you are released later on. You know, you're essentially everything you do is essentially pretty much controlled within that environment. And also the second point there is that talking about schools being training grounds. Another point that I want to make it is in general only those who are educated at home that actually transfer this education into the school environment and are able to do things well. I mean, what happens at school is so inconsequential to most of the students. Not that there aren't great teachers doing work, because there are, and not that people can't be inspired, because it does happen. But those are only in a minority of cases in my experience. Anyway, continue. Sadly, life in many public schools is now essentially equivalent to life in prisons, locked in, no choice. Most parents don't realize this, but our students have very few rights when they are in school. The rights are taken away. It's training for later. It's training. Our public school students are being watched, tracked, recorded, searched, and controlled. And this is only happening more frequently than it ever was before. So the following are 18 signs that life in public schools is now very similar to life in prisons. This is specifically relevant to the North American market, but you can apply this to Britain, and you can apply this to other places in Europe. I know schools in this town where I'm in right now that you know, they have doors locked and windows locked, and God knows what would happen if there's a fire in the building. I guess everyone would just burn. Shocking. Anyway, let's get to it. Point one. Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, excuse the pronunciation, has announced that school officials can search the cell phones and laptops of public school students if there is reasonable grounds for suspecting that the search will turn up evidence that the student has violated or is violating either the law or the rules of the school. Now, if you understand about freedom, it means the concept means to be free in your effects, the things that belong to you. And what kind of power is this transferring to teachers? What kind of authority is now being given to someone who should educate, who's now being trained to in the powers of what should be just for police, really. Point 2. It came out in court that one school district in Pennsylvania recently recorded more than 66,000 images of students using webcams that were embedded in school-issued laptops that the students were using at home. So the school is using laptops to observe the students. This was done as a test in some schools. Naturally, the parents were quite unhappy about it, but they're testing it for a reason. They're testing it because they want to do it. They want to start to have this as something which is regular, and they're, how can I say this, acclimatizing the students and the families to this idea, and using taxpayers' money in the process. If you don't want to be filmed, put a piece of tape over the camera. I know people who do this already. They're not being paranoid because you don't really have control of what's happening there. When is the computer off? When is your phone off? Think about it. 3. If you can believe it, certified TSA officials, those are the Transport Security Agency, I'm not sure that they really care about transport or security, was recently brought in to oversee student searches during a school prom, school dance that happens usually at the end of the school year, maybe at other times. I mean, this is a quasi-government agency, and what the hell are they doing in schools? Speechless. Moving on. 4. A few years ago, a class of 3rd grade students in one Kentucky elementary school were searched by a group of teachers after $5 went missing. During the search, students were actually required to remove their shoes and their socks. Well, this is just ridiculous. If that's the only method that you can use to find a solution to something, surely since the beginning of time, everybody would be removing their shoes and socks all the time. Oh my God, ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't make that point very clearly, but maybe you get it, right? At one public school in the Chicago area, children have been banned from bringing their lunches from home. Students at that particular school are absolutely prohibited from bringing lunches from home. Instead, it is mandatory that they eat food at the school cafeteria. So I can't read today. Okay, what's this about? Food. Food and your diet is your energy and your ability, how your body converts the food is what will give you the energy. Now, having looked at most food in schools, it's not great. And what is wrong with what's wrong with this? This is the school becoming the family. This is the school telling the parents that you can't be a parent, that we're going to do it for you, and parents are acquiescing to this and saying it's okay. I mean, please wake up. Oh, right. Moving on. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is spending huge amounts of money to install surveillance cameras in the cafeterias of public schools so that they can closely monitor what our children are eating. The Department of Agriculture, isn't their job to farm in fields and to make sure that there's enough food for everybody? What the hell are they doing in schools? A teenager in suburban Dallas was recently forced to take on a part-time job after being ticketed for using bad language in one high school classroom. The original ticket was for $340, but additional fees have raised the total bill to $637. Fines for bad language. You have to pay money if you say the wrong words. The students shouldn't be fined anyway. They're forced to live in that environment, and then they get fined for living in that environment. They're forced to live in an unnatural environment, and then they get fined for it. A fine. I mean, does the authority need the income? I mean, who's getting this money? Where is it going? And who's going to pay? I mean, the students don't have any money. I mean, this is going directly to the parents. You're fining the parents for something your student said, in the school. Oh, ridiculous. Again, it's all just crazy. Point 8, it was not just high school kids that were being ticketed by police. This also included elementary school students. One Texas police what's this station office gave 1,000 tickets to elementary school kids over a 6-year period. Granted, 6 years, quite a long time, but ticketing students for bad language. I mean, yeah, if you want to have a little game in your classroom and you give tickets and maybe you want to encourage something positive from that, but don't make it a financial penalty. People don't have the money anyway. A few months ago, a 17-year-old honor student in North Carolina accidentally took her father's lunch to school. You can see where this is going. It contained a small paring knife, which he would use to slice up apples. So what happened to the student? Have you guessed? The school suspended her for the rest of the year, and the police charged her with a misdemeanor. Oh, I got to check misdemeanor in the etymology dictionary. I guess there's got to be something outrageous there. What's the point of this? It's designed to create fear. It's designed to make you scared. It's oh my God, I don't want this to happen to me. It happened to somebody else. I better be careful. That's another element of the propaganda matrix with promotion. We'll go into that another time. A little over a year ago, a 6-year-old girl in Florida was handcuffed and sent to a mental facility after throwing temper tantrums at her elementary school. Temper tantrums. How unchildlike is that? Temper tantrums. My God. Some adults even still have them. Look at sports players, for God's sake. What is this? This is behavior modification, telling you that one type of behavior is good, one type of behavior is bad, and that's it, and then slowly manipulating the children over time. Point 11. In the year 2010, a 12-year-old girl in New York was arrested by police and marched out of her school in handcuffs because she drew a little picture on her desk. She wrote, "I love my friends Abby and Faith." What are we being taught here? That the school is God, God is the authority, and you must do whatever you are told there. Again, outrageous. God, I used to draw on my desk at school. Didn't we all? It was a boring place to be most of the time. Where are we? 13. Oh, running out of time. See if we get this to the end. Down in Florida, students have actually been arrested by police for bringing a plastic butter knife to school, for throwing an eraser, or for drawing a picture of a gun. Oh my God, how evil is that? A picture. Behavior modification. Training at a young age to install some idea that the school is God and therefore government is God. Florida State Department has announced that it will begin using analysis software to predict crime by young delinquents, and will place potential offenders, yes, I repeated that for the hard of hearing, in specific prevention and education programs. Pre-crime. You haven't done anything wrong, but you're still a criminal. A group of high school students made national headlines a while back when they revealed that they were ordered by a security guard to stop singing the national anthem. No anthem, because there's no nations, because they want the nations to end. In some schools, armed cops now are now accompanied by police dogs, and they conduct surprise raids with their guns drawn. I know it's almost unbelievable, but it's true. One 8-year-old boy in Massachusetts was sent home from school after drawing a picture of Jesus on the cross. How evil is that? And 13 parents in South Carolina were arrested for cheering during a high school graduation. Your children are not your children. They belong to the state. Get it through your head. It's time to wake up. Thanks. Take care.